Maharaj, can someone lead the kirtan?
How about Samji Mataji and Saraji Mataji and Samji Prabhu? Will you please? Prabhuji, you are on mute.
Yeah.
I got it.
Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namo Vishnu
Vedaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamani
Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharine Nirvashesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine
Namaste Saraswati Devam Gauravani Pracharini Nirvashesha Sunyavadi Paschatadeshatarini
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasaki Gaura Bhaktivinoda
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Maharaj is here.
Maharaj is here.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Host disabled participant screen sharing. Can you enable me?
Yes, Maharaj, I'm fixing it. 1 second.
1 second. Okay.
It is fixed,
That's
Maharaj.
easy. Ready?
Yes, you should be able to share.
Okay. Let's see, here we go. And you're able to see the Damodar Lila Stan text?
Yes, Maharaj, we are.
Okay. So let us begin. You had nice kirtan. And I'd like to begin by explaining not just the Leela, but a group of us will be visiting Vrindavan very soon. And one of the places we'll be visiting in Vrindavan is the place where Krishna performed the Damodar Leela. And I have some nice photographs of that place taken about 5 days ago. So it's very fresh, current photos of the place. The Leela, Damodar Leela, is connected to the word Dama, which means ropes, and Uddara, which means his abdomen or his waist. So it's a pastime where Krishna was bound with ropes around his waist or abdomen. And of course, we know who did that. Mother Yashoda. Here's the entrance to the current place, complete with motorcycle. And the location of this is at the base of a small hill. That's the place where Krishna lived when he was in Gokul. Generally, we don't visit that place. In fact, I've never visited that place because I was warned that the pujaris there are over anxious or greedy, and they don't treat visitors nicely. So ISKCON devotees at least don't go there. So, but this is at the base of the hill, near the base of the hill, where Nanda Maharaj had his palace while living in Gokul on the eastern side of the river Jamuna. And inside, this is the picture we see. This is depiction of the pastime. Of course, they very much like the artwork of ISKCON artists. BBT apparently gave their permission for them to put these paintings up. And around on the other side is what is, we're told, this is actually the remaining pieces from the grinding mortar to which Krishna was bound by Mother Jasoda. So let us begin the Leela this way. The pastime of Damodar being bound by the ropes of Mother Jasoda begins on Diwali Day, coming up very soon. On the day of Diwali, Mother Jasoda began to contemplate. I've got all these complaints from the gopis that my son goes to their storerooms and steals butter. So why is that? Why am I getting these complaints? Because Krishna has so much butter. Nanda Maharaj has 900,000 cows. There's no shortage of butter. So why am I getting all these complaints? She then reasoned, it seems that my maidservants do not make butter nicely. Therefore, my son goes to steal the butter of other gopis. So today, Diwali, I'll churn the butter myself. She gave the day off. Diwali, day off for all of her maidservants. And instead, Mother Jasoda personally decided to churn the butter. Here's a very nice painting. A Mother Jasoda. I don't know if any of you have ever churned butter before, but it's very simple. There's the pot. There's the butter churn. That's the stick that goes vertically into the pot with some paddles at the bottom. And then a series of ropes. One is the rope that holds that churning rod upright. And then on the other side is the rope that you pull back and forth. So you kind of wind the ropes around the churning rod, and something holds the churning rod in place, and you pull on the ropes back and forth and back and forth. And you can easily hear the sloshing of the yogurt that's inside. Now, it's a known fact that yogurt makes better butter. Butter that's made from yogurt is better than butter that's made from milk, but it both will work, but yogurt is better butter. So Mother Jasoda gathered together, we'll see the text shortly, but she had, out of Nanda Maharaja's 900,000 cows, she had identified 10,000 cows that were very special. And she arranged that they were given the very best quality grass. And then after milking these 10,000 cows, some of that milk was given to 1,000 very, very special cows. This is Jiva Goswami. And then after milking these 1,000 cows, some of that milk, of course, along with grass, was given to 100 triple very special cows. And after milking those 100 triple special cows, it was given to 10 quadruple very, very, very special cows. And as a result, the milk of those cows would be as fragrant as a lotus flower. And then she began to turn the milk from those 10 cows into yogurt. And then she began to churn the butter. She laid Krishna down to sleep while the churning was going on. And she was like a one-man band, meaning she had bangles on her wrist that when she was pulling the churning rods back and forth, it was like the sound of kartals, a ching ching sound of the metal bangles around her wrist clashing with one another. And the moving of the paddles inside the churning rod made a sloshing sound. I don't know if you've ever done the churning. I've done it. And if you do it nicely, it sounds like a mridanga. So there was the boom, boom, boom of the paddles and the ching, ching, ching of the bracelets. And she had a musical accompaniment as she was singing, and she didn't even need a songbook. She just sang spontaneous songs of Krishna's wonderful qualities, Krishna's wonderful features, Krishna's wonderful pastimes. And she was in spontaneous mood of love for Krishna, churning butter for Krishna. So while she was engaged in that way, Krishna woke up. And when Krishna woke up, he came directly to the side of Mother Jasoda, indicating silently that he wanted her to breastfeed him. Now, there's a nice passage that describes specifically how Mother Jasoda was dressed. I'll read it. Dressed in a saffron yellow sari with a belt tied about her full hips, Mother Yashoda pulled on the churning rope, laboring, considerably, her bangles and earrings moving and vibrating and her whole body shaking. Now it's described by Rupa Goswami that it's passages like this that are a very important part of Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. In Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti, those who are desiring or have an attraction for parental affection, they're encouraged to meditate on those who are exemplified parental affection, Mother Yasoda being the most perfect. And these pastimes are a form of bringing the mind to the details and more details about Mother Yasoda, including how she's dressed, the flowers in her hair, the beads of perspiration on her forehead, and everything about Mother Yasoda's appearance and the details of her mood of love for Krishna. So Mother Yasoda smiled at Krishna. She continued to churn. Krishna decided to make sure that she knew he reached his hand out and held the churning rod, which was an indication, stop churning and feed me. There's a very beautiful scene in the Bhagavatam where Mother Yasoda puts Krishna on her lap, as mothers will sometimes do, with the little legs of her child straddling her two legs, holding him by the waist and the back, and looking in his eyes and smiling, as mothers will sometimes do. It's a very, very beautiful scene. Krishna's looking into her eyes. She's looking into Krishna's eyes. It's like she forgot everything and was just absorbed in parental affection of Krishna. And as she's beginning to feed Krishna, notice in the painting over in the back right side, there's a pot. And the pot has milk. And the milk was to make some other milk preparation for Krishna. And she noticed out of the corner of her eye that the milk was boiling over. So now, little dilemma. We'll go a little bit slowly about this little dilemma. Sometimes in our lives of devotion to Krishna, there's more than one thing to do at the same time, and we have to make a decision whether to do this or to do that. So in Mother Yasoda's case, she thought, using her rational capacity, she's on the platform of perfection, but she's still using her rational capacity to say, better to rescue the milk first, because if the milk boils over, then everything is spoiled. I can come back and feed Krishna as soon as I rescue the milk. And that's what she was thinking. She put Krishna down. She went to the stove to rescue the milk. Jiva Goswami writes, the milk was thinking, what is the use of my life? Mother Yasoda is feeding Krishna. She'll just go on feeding Krishna ad infinitum. And my life of serving Krishna is useless. Better to just jump into the fire. That was Jiva Goswami's explanation. And when Mother Yasoda got to the stove, she knew exactly what to do. Those of you that cook in kitchens, you know what to do when something starts to boil over. You sprinkle lightly some water at the top of the pot, and immediately the boiling subsides. Now you have to move quickly after that, but she rescued the milk from spilling over the top of the pot. And then she removed the pot from the stove and went back to where Krishna was in order to continue her business of feeding Krishna. But when she got to where Krishna was, she saw the scene. Here's the depiction of Krishna when Mother Yasoda has gone to rescue the boiling milk. He becomes angry and he takes a stone and throws a stone hard at the pot, breaks the pot, and starts stealing milk directly from the pot. It's, it's yogurt becoming butter. So some butter, the rest is yogurt, and he's stealing. And Mother Yasoda returns, and Krishna sees Mother Yasoda coming, and so he runs. And as you see in the painting, by the time she reached there, Krishna had gone, and she saw what she saw. She saw the broken pot, the piece of stone, and she used her deductive reasoning powers to say, this was Krishna's business. He broke the pot. And seeing the little footprints of Krishna with yogurt on the bottom of the soles of his feet, she followed the footprints of Krishna. And when she followed the footprints of Krishna, sure enough, there he was in the storeroom where Mother Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj kept their dairy products, and Krishna was busy breaking into the storeroom, stealing the butter, and as you see here, feeding butter to the monkeys. There's a nice painting I like, where the monkeys are very politely reaching out their hand, saying, please. I've never seen monkeys do like that, but these are special monkeys, I guess. And Mother Yasoda has that little stick in her hand, and she sees the activity that Krishna is doing. This painting shows Balaram is with him, and Krishna is feeding the monkeys. And there's hundreds and hundreds of such paintings. So I'm only showing a few. Krishna is very happy. And he's looking out of the corner of his eye to see if Mother Yasoda is coming, because he's a little nervous or afraid he may get caught stealing, because stealing isn't good. And when Mother Yasoda sees him, and Krishna sees Mother Yasoda seeing him, he starts running. And this is a celebrated part of the Damodarastakam prayers. We know from the Upanishads, Krishna overcomes all others running. No one can catch him. So Mother Yasoda is running, 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 and Krishna is running, running, running. But Krishna allows Mother Yasoda to catch him. Now we know from a later pastime, Kalyavana was unable to catch Krishna because Krishna didn't want to be caught by Kalyavana. He was always, no matter how fast Kalyavana ran, Krishna was always just out of reach, enough proximate so he would keep chasing him, but enough out of reach so he couldn't catch him. But Mother Yasoda finally, she caught Krishna from behind. And when she caught Krishna from behind, as you see that stick in her hand, Krishna started to cry out of fear of the stick in Mother Yasoda's hand. So as he was crying like that, Mother Yasoda threw away the stick. She didn't want to create fear, but she wanted to reprimand Krishna. So when she caught Krishna, she said, this is very bad. I mean, if you grow up stealing and I do nothing, then what it's going to be when you become an adult. So I have to check this behavior of stealing. So she decided to bind him to a grinding mortar. Now, apparently, that was a common practice at that time. And during our present time, they have names for something like that, like child abuse or something. But it was a standard practice and it was done lovingly. And so Mother Yasoda was trying to bind Krishna. She had enough rope. And as she tried to bind Krishna, she found, as we know, the rope was 2 inches too short. So she did her rational faculty program. She got some additional rope and tied the additional rope to the first rope. And as she tried joining the two ropes and binding Krishna around the waist, once again, it was 2 inches too short. Again, Jiva Goswami says, she went to the storeroom that had many ropes because they had cows. They had many, many ropes. She got many, many ropes. She went to the storerooms of some other ladies and got more rope and more rope. And no matter how much rope, it wouldn't go around Krishna's waist. Although, what rope can bind Krishna? So she was very bewildered. Jiva Goswami writes, there were two potencies of Krishna that were being exhibited to prevent her from binding him. His Vibhuti Shakti, just like we know from chapter 10 of Bhagavad Gita, Vibhuti Yoga chapter, the opulences of the Absolute. So Krishna was exhibiting his Vibhuti Shakti, which was inspired by his Satya Sankalpa Shakti. And those two potencies together made it such that no matter how long the rope was, it wouldn't go around Krishna's waist, which means he wanted to go back to the storeroom and steal butter. He didn't want to be tied by Mother Yasoda. And if Krishna doesn't want, then no one can do whatever it is that one wants to do. So Mother Yasoda's friends, they came to see the fun. They saw she got more and more ropes, and more and more ropes, and more and more ropes. And they simply said to Mother Yasoda, don't you understand? It's not meant to happen. You have so much rope, but it's not going around Krishna's waist. So just understand it's not meant to happen. So they were laughing and also astonished at this amazing activity of Yasoda and Krishna. And Mother Yasoda was also contemplating a rope of 100 hastas, or 150 feet, does not fit around my son's waist, which measures only 1 fist. His small waist is not getting any bigger, and the rope is certainly not getting any shorter, but still the rope doesn't reach around him. This is the first amazing thing. Furthermore, when I tie the ropes together, each time it is 2 fingers short, not 3 or 4 fingers. That's the second amazing thing. She's marveling, and the other elder gopis are watching the fun. They're marveling at this Vibhuti Shakti of Krishna. Of course, not understanding what it is, but it's quite amazing. So what did Mother Yasoda do? Well, Mother Yasoda continued, because she's Mother Yasoda, she continued in her efforts to discipline her son. I can't allow this. I have to discipline you. Because the same reason, if you stealing, and if I don't discipline the stealing, then your stealing can become who knows what in your adult life. As she continued like that, Krishna's contemplation began to shift. As he saw the effort she was making and the devotion of love with which she was making it, his Satya Sankalpa Shakti and Vibhuti Shakti were withdrawn. The appearance of Krishna's mercy made his Satya Sankalpa and Vibhuti Shaktis immediately disappear. The distance of 2 fingers was filled by the devotee's effort and hard work, parishramam, and the causeless mercy of Krishna, his Krishna Kripa. So this is the secret. This is the lesson, one of the lessons in the Damodar Leela. When we're making some endeavor in service to Krishna, two things are required. One, our effort to serve with some determination and patience and everything. And the other that's needed is Krishna's mercy. So two things are required, effort and mercy. And that's our life in devotion. It's not just effort, it's not just mercy. Both things are required. And when both things are there, the 2 inches too short program can make our efforts successful. Here's Mother Soto binding Krishna. Here's Jiva Goswami's commentary. Same point. The bhakta nishtha, or the firm faith of the devotee, seen in their tireless endeavors to serve and worship the Lord, and the sva nishtha, the steady quality of the Lord, which brings forth his mercy upon seeing the devotee's effort and fatigue caused Krishna to be bound. So those two things. Here's bhakta nishtha, previously as parishrama, the effort, but it's effort with great faith, and Krishna's quality of being very merciful, his quality of mercifulness, Krishna Kripa. That caused Krishna to be bound. In the absence of these two, the rope will remain 2 fingers too short. But when bhakta nishtha and sva nishtha are present, the Lord can be bound. That's the 2 fingers too short solution. 2 fingers too short. The solution are sincere devotional efforts with faith, and Krishna seeing that sincere devotional effort with faith, and then Krishna's exhibiting his mercy, his sva nishtha, his natural quality of mercy. And this way, the glory of the pastime is Mother Sota's bhakti was so strong that her bhakti was able to bind Krishna when otherwise one cannot bind Krishna. A very celebrated painting. There's many, many, many nice paintings of Mother Soto binding Krishna. This is one of Jadharani's paintings. Very beautiful, very beautiful. And in a strict sense, we can call this pastime Yashoda Damodar Leela. But often we hear of the terminology a little different, the Radha Damodar. So is there such a pastime of Radha binding Damodar? And Jiva Goswami helps us by pointing out some scriptural text from Bhavishya Purana that reads like this. This is from his Priti Sandarbha. Srimad Bhagavatam 10:32-6. There's this guy, another kind of gopi is described, a gopi who thinks Krishna is mine. This gopi is also situated in the midst of the gopis. Her position is very rare and exalted. She has a special kind of love for Lord Krishna, thinking Krishna is my property. She stares at him with frowning glances and enjoys other like pastimes with him. This particular gopi is Sri Radha. Her exalted position is described in these words, describing the month of Kartik in the Vraja Ratnakara Drita part of Bhavishya Purana. This Bhavishya Purana tells a very nice pastime where Radha binds Krishna. This is one way of referring to it from Priti Sandarbha. That evening, Lord Krishna went to Radha's home. Angry, She bound his waist with her own sash. Telling her about a great festival at his home, Lord Krishna pacified his beloved Radha, and she set him free. Now that's a direct quote from Bhavishya Purana, referencing Radha binding Krishna on this festival day. It's a Diwali festival. We'll see shortly. It's the Diwali festival. On Diwali evening, Krishna was supposed to meet with Radha. There was a festival at home, and so he was late. And when he was late, Radha was angry, and she looked at him in an angry way, and she bound him around the waist with her sash. So that's Priti Sandarbha. Here's another text referencing the same scriptural source, Bhavishya Purana, where Jiva Goswami writes, in Goloka Vrindavan, Lord Krishna eternally assumes a youthful form. In this form, he enjoys in various ways, along with his beloved Srimati Radhika. Once, during the Kartik month, he stayed home to celebrate the festival arranged by Purnamasi. It's a Diwali festival. Due to the festivities that day, he arrived late at night to meet Srimati Radhika. In a state of anger, she tied him up using her waistband as a rope. Krishna then narrated everything that had taken place at his home that caused the delay. This story appeased her, after which Krishna said to her, O slender-waisted Radhika, I am most satisfied by this action of you in binding me lovingly by your waistband. O beautiful lady, this name of mine, Damodar, has now become dearer to me. In this world of mine, no other name is as dear to me as this name. By chanting this name, one will always have children and will attain all perfection, along with the rarest forms of devotional service. One will also be able to stay eternally in my abode by chanting these names. So sannyasis better not chant this name because they'll have a problem. In the near future, when Mother Yashoda will bind me to the mortar, this name of mine will be manifest in the material world. In this month of Kartik, one who worships me with you, according to the rules of the scriptures, will attain the fulfillment of all desires. So this is another one of Jiva Goswami's multiple books describing Krishna, Radha Krishna, Archana, worship. So Radha Krishna worship. One more reference, and this is from same scriptural text. Before we were hearing Bhavishya Purana, now it's being called Bhavishyotara Purana, and it's Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami's commentary on the same pastime from the same section of Bhavishyotara Purana. And the book that he wrote was Krishna Karnamrita, and here's what he wrote. Having missed a rendezvous with Srimati Radhika, Krishna was passionately frowned upon by her and was subsequently bound up by her golden waistband. He then proceeded to offer the explanation that his delay was due to the great festival of the Kartik month that was being celebrated by his mother. I meditate on him, who thus became known as Damodara, who in this bound condition offered many excellent words of flattery with erect goosebumps on his body. So he's enjoying Radhika's binding him. He's enjoying the whole mood of the pastime, which is, of course, being carried out by his own potency. And last, there's a reference to the same Bhavishotara Purana, where instead of saying it's from her waistband, Bhaktisiddhanta indicates it's using a ribbon from her hair. Now that's Radha Damodar, and then the other pastime is Yasoda Damodar. Here's the Radha Damodar deity that was worshipped by Jiva Goswami for many, many, many years in Vrindavan. This same Damodar deity worshipped by Jiva Goswami in Vrindavan is now in Jaipur. As you can see from the painting, he's not tall, but his features are very, very, very beautiful. And Radha is by his side, a brass deity of Radharani. And the deity was carved with his own hand, with Rupa Goswami's own hand, for his disciple, Jiva Goswami, to worship. It's described when Jiva Goswami was a little boy, he had deities of Krishna Balaram. And he loved those deities very much. He worshiped those deities in a spontaneous way. He would talk with them and they would talk with him. It said, Rupa Goswami, understanding this tendency or propensity for very wonderful spontaneous deity worship, Rupa Goswami received some black marble from Vindhya Parvat, carved with his own hand, this deity of Damodar for Jiva Goswami. And when Jiva Goswami would worship Damodar, he would sing. And sometimes when he would sing, it said that Damodar would play his flute. And sometimes Damodar would dance, which made Jiva Goswami very, very ecstatic, one can imagine. So there was a very intimate, loving, personal relationship between the Damodar deity and Jiva Goswami. Here's another nice photograph. Whoops, there's supposed to be another photograph. Well, it's not showing up. Another photograph of the same deity. And here's the Damodar deity that's now in Vrindavan town. It's a replacement deity or Pratibhu deity, also worshipped very opulently. And there's Radha Damodar now being worshipped in Gitanagari, a long story of the history of Radha Damodar coming into being worshipped by ISKCON, and Vishnu Jan Swami placing Radha Damodar in his Radha Damodar bus and the bus program, and that when that bus program came to a close, the deities of Radha Damodar were taken to Gitanagari, and there they've been worshipped since. Very beautiful forms of Radha Damodar. So I was requested to speak something about the Damodar Leela. Yeah. So I think that will take care of what I wanted to do. Let's go back to stop share. There we go. Okay. So most of what I just did was reading, but that's okay, because reading Jiva Goswami is very wonderful. So let's see if there's some discussion from anybody here.
So Maharaj, there is no mention of the Radha Damodar part of the Leela in Bhagavatam. There's only Yashoda Damodar.
That's right. But our acharyas reference it from another Purana, Bhavishotara Purana or Bhavishya Purana. So it's not mentioned in the Bhagavatam, that's correct. So when we hear things from our acharyas that are from other Puranas, we accept them as authoritative. And otherwise, if we don't hear our acharyas making reference to them, they don't carry the same weight for us.
That was kind of mystery now. So
Somebody's knocking on my door. Let me just go check, see what that is. Okay, they went away. I guess they understood I was busy.
Hare Krishna
Anything
Maharaj.
else?
Hare Krishna
Hare
Maharaj,
Krishna.
please accept my obeisance out to Prabhupada. The very nice lecture, Maharaj. But could you please expand a few more on that? The it was tied by the Radharani's the hairband. Could you please explain that one few more, Maharaj? The ribbon.
It's not much to explain. It's a pastime.
Okay.
I can just say it again in other words. I read it, but in other words, there was a festival. The indication is it was a Diwali festival that was at Nanda Maharaj's home, and Purnamasi was there, and Krishna was participating in that family festival at their home. And therefore he was late for meeting Radha. And when he came, she let him know, I'm angry. And so in her anger, along with her brow and her eyes and everything else, she bound Krishna with her waistband or sash. It's translated different ways. And Bhaktisiddhanta says hairband. In any case, she bound Krishna around the waist. He gave an explanation why he was late, but he appreciated the kind of love that she feels she can chastise him. And because of her love, just like Mother Yasoda, because of the love of Mother Yasoda was able to do what others are not able to do. Others are not able to bind Krishna or chastise Krishna. Others can't catch, so this is the love of the devotee that binds Krishna. That's the message. So it's Radha doing, in addition to Mother Yasoda doing. Now, according to this explanation of Jiva Goswami, it took place either before, because it says that the translation reads in Goloka, which could mean in the spiritual world, Goloka. Later, when Mother Yasoda tries to bind me, I'll be known by the celebrated name Damodar. But so back to your question, it says a pastime. Apparently, it's just one line from Bhavishya Purana, and our acharyas have drawn from that and expanded by explaining the Leela more completely.
Thank you, Maharaj.
So Maharaj, Yashoda has to struggle a lot to bind Krishna. But it looks like Radharani had no problem, just took her sash or whatever.
Piece of. No, it doesn't. You can read into that to say, therefore, something. The love of Radha is greater than the love of Yasoda. But that's, I wouldn't say that. It's different. And sometimes Radharani may want to chastise Krishna and she can't. So it's not, a universal understanding. It's a particular pastime. She was very easily able to bind. And Krishna allowed. In both cases, it's Krishna allowing. It's the effort and it's the mercy.
No other question or comments from Maharaj?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All Grisha Prabhupada and T. Guma. Maharaj, where are you?
I'm in California.
Oh.
And tomorrow I'm leaving the country.
India?
Singapore.
Oh, how long
On the way to India.
We'll have your darshan during the parikrama, Maharaj.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm looking forward to that. I took time out of my schedule to have this class with you, and otherwise I was on the treadmill getting ready for the yatra. It takes a lot to prepare.
I know, Maharaj, a lot.
And it's lovely. It's just like what I just presented to you about the Damodar Leela is something that prior to today, in preparation for the Vrindavan Yatra, I put together this little presentation on the Damodar Leela because it's a place we're going to visit. So to help me become absorbed in the places we're going to go, for the past 2 weeks, I've been doing things like this. And so the visuals, we won't have visuals, we'll be there in person. But, it's reciting and reciting and reciting that we're there. You're going to hear the same thing when we're there. Probably a shorter version and without all the pictures.
Thank you, Maharaj, for coming. And Sri Radha Prabhu has some comments or questions.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Just one question. It looks like the pastime happened on the Diwali day, which seems to be exactly right in the middle of Kartik, or somehow like
yes.
we remember for Govardhan Leela, Govardhan pastime rather than the Damodara pastime. So it's just wondering about that.
Well, on the other hand, for the entire month of Damodar, we sing the Damodar Astakam.
Which is so.
Yes, Govardhan has its prominence, and even more prominent than the prominence of Govardhan, which takes place during the Kartik month, is the Damodar Leela. Every day we sing.
Every day, yeah.
And offer a lamp. You probably are going to do that next. After we finish here, you're going to go somewhere and offer a lamp to Damodar and sing Damodar Astakam. Or maybe some of you have already done it.
We were doing before the program. Thank you, Maharaj.
I'm not going to be able to do that on the flight. I don't think they'll let me light a lamp, and I may offer a lamp to Damodar, but I can sing the Ashtaka. That won't be any problem, but no lamp.
So you will be staying in Singapore, Maharaj, or just?
I'll be staying there for 4 days, and then getting de-jet lagged a little bit. They got me busy. You can imagine. and then 3.5 days in Bangalore, then up to Vrindavan, and then the yatra, prepare, and then off we go.
How long is your flight from California to Singapore and then Singapore to Delhi?
The flight, if my memory says, it's 16.5 hours nonstop. I'm going to be exhausted on the other end.
Yeah, Maharaj, these flights are not fun.
Mummy, okay, let Raj stop asking Raj these questions, Mom.
Okay, so for those of you that are not getting on a plane and going to India, the plan is that the devotees will be recording these kathas and images of each place, and every night, India time, uploading so that persons that couldn't attend can view. So you can view, with a lag of 12 hours time or something like that, all the places in the katha. It's going to be, less katha than, I would like, because there's going to be a lot of people and they want to see places. So it's going to be less speaking and more going to see places, but some speaking. Okay. So it's 1 hour.
See you
into our
India, Vrindavan.
Yeah, you're going to be there, right?
Maharaj.
Gosh, good fortune for all of us to be in
It's a
Vrindavan.
good fortune for me. You arranging the Yatra, Maharaj. It's been 3 years. We've been waiting for this time.
I guess
Okay.
if you can actually post those bases from there, it will be nice. This in Ladhanatwar group, maybe.
It will be already in Maharaj's media side. So,
Okay.
but you want I can work on that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll see you there. And otherwise you can hear the recordings, with 12-hour lag, if you like, if your time permits.
Yes, Maharaj.
Thank you very much. See the
Thank you,
Prabhupada.
Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank-
Thank you, Maharaj.
Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Raj is gone.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Gurmal and share Prabhupada. This is Prem Manjari from New Jersey. Thank you so much for the link.
Thank you for attending. And when I